Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to go over how to fix missing data on your dashboard, level 3, where we'll talk about something which happens on the page level itself that prevents data from showing up in your dashboard while it does exist in your survey and it is mapped correctly into your dashboard. Now this guy is level 3 in this troubleshooting pyramid, where we've already checked that the data shows up in the survey. We've checked that the dashboard is configured correctly, but for one reason or another, the data simply isn't showing up on that page. If you haven't watched this video on the dashboard settings and things to check there, I highly suggest you pause this video, watch that one, as this video is building off the concepts laid in that previous video. With that being said, let's hop into the dashboard and take a look at what's going on. So heading to this dashboard example here, we can see that for location, this guy is pulling in data, while location data is empty. Location is pulling a bunch of data, but for location data, it's empty. Just like before, when troubleshooting this, we'll go to our settings, open up our source, check the data analysis tab to make sure that location data does have data in here. So as before, as we saw in the previous video, location data should have data in here. If it didn't, then that would explain why there's no data pulling in for the dashboard. But if it does, then we'll go to our next level where we'll check the dashboard settings to make sure it's mapped correctly. All right, it looks like this guy is taking a little bit of time to load. All right, so it looks like this guy might be taking a little bit of time, so I'll put this on pause if it doesn't load in the next 5 seconds or so. And then once this guy does load, we'll take a look together to see if location data is pulling in exactly as we expect. All right, so as we saw in the last video, location data is pulling through exactly as we expect. So you got Google, YouTube, LinkedIn in here. The data looks perfect. It looks just fine. Now, if we head back to the dashboard and then take a look at our dashboard settings, look up the location, this guy looks mapped. It's a text set as it should be based on the data in here. So that looks good too. However, when we go back to the survey itself, or rather the widget itself, this guy's pulling in data, but this guy isn't. So something's going on here on the page itself that's causing one of the widgets to pull in data, but one of them to not be pulling in data. And then what you always want to do in a situation like this is you always want to make a private copy of the page. So in here, you can either make the page from scratch, or what I like to do is click on these 3 ellipses, create a private copy, and then you'll see here that in this private copy, location is pulling in everything, and location data has data in here. Now, if you'll notice, there's a slight difference in these 2 pages. In this location data page, we have this location filter that has Facebook, Instagram, and other. In this private page, we don't. Now, if we add this location filter for Facebook, Instagram, and other, you'll see that location data in here disappears. To double check that we are pulling in the correct information, if you head back to the source or the survey and add a filter that matches the conditions on the dashboard, we'll see what will happen to location data. So go to embedded data, location, and then yes, is. And you'll see here, once we add that filter that matches what the dashboard is showing, we get the exact same thing we see on the dashboard. For location, as Facebook, Facebook, other, and then there might be an Instagram in here somewhere. Okay, lots of others, some more others. guess there isn't an Instagram on here. Did I add it as a filter? Facebook notification contains Instagram. Okay, so I should see it somewhere. Let me sort it A to Z. Or Z to A. Interesting. I don't see Instagram on here, but I do see Facebook and I do see other. Let me do check one last thing. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Instagram. Perfect. All right, so there we go. So now we have Facebook and Instagram on here, exactly as we see on the dashboard. And the key thing to keep in mind is that location data is blank with this particular filter. Now, if we remove the filter, we'll see that location data does pull through with information. Similarly on the dashboard, if we remove this filter, location data pops right in. So this is a specific scenario where data is pulling through in your survey. It does map and is mapped correctly on your dashboard. But what's happening here is that there's a particular set of filters on the page that excludes data from showing up for that particular field. And the way you double check it is head to the source or the survey, add that same filter and see if data pulls through. And 99% of the time, if it's not pulling through on the dashboard, it won't pull through on the survey either. And then once you either remove the filter from the dashboard or change it so that it's something else, for example, if I added Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, then you'll see that your data will pull through exactly as you expect it to. Once again, to recap, in situations where you head over to your dashboard and notice that for one of the fields it's pulling in, one of the fields it's not, and you've double checked in your survey that the data is there, and you've double checked the mapping in your dashboard to make sure that things are mapped correctly with the correct field type, but for some reason or another things aren't pulling through on the individual widgets. Another thing to double check is the page itself and any filters on the page. To check this, you're going to want to make a private copy of that page. Then on that private copy, you're going to want to remove all filters or as many as possible. And you'll see very quickly if data pulls in or not. If the data does pull in, it lends itself to the fact that there's some filter up here that makes it so that there's an impossible condition for one of the widgets, so it displays no data. Then, once you're sure that this is filter related, you're going to want to add back the filter you originally had on the public page, one item at a time. For example, I'm going to add in Facebook, see if data shows up. It doesn't, so this lets me know that there's something going on here where this set of conditions leads to an impossible condition for that field and data doesn't pull through. And once that's all complete, then you're going to want to head back into your source or your survey, add the same filter and see if you see any data. 99% of the time you will not, and you'll know that it's a filter related problem, and once those filters are modified or toggled, then you'll be good to go. Hope that clarifies things. This is level 3 in how to fix missing data on your dashboard. In the next video, we'll go over widget level filters and then wrap things up with role and data restrictions. And then you guys should be all set on troubleshooting any dashboard issues that you come across where there's missing data on your dashboard. Hope that clarifies things. If you guys have any additional questions, concerns, or anything like that you want to go over, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Always happy to clarify anything or go over anything further there. If you guys have any additional questions about this particular topic, just let me know. Always happy to make a follow-up video about this since this is a pretty complex topic and there are a lot of moving pieces related to this. And I could do a whole deep dive on different approaches to troubleshooting this or things to look out for. If that would be helpful, just let me know. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next video. Take care.